Hello. Okay, so like yesterday, I like in my created this a world. I brought myself to the moment of creating a world within um, corresponding of how like. So when I was younger, when I went to rest my body, I went into this world, astral projection, and it was like of my own legit making or what it is, and there was like a pyramid, and then like a whole bunch of other stuff, and then I went into a world somewhat like this, and then I went through another door, and then I came here. It's that to be organized, or what it can seem like, or I put like a seal around all my ideas, like a net, not to hold them and keep them in one spot. Well, essentially yes, just to keep them like organized in one spot. And so, like, since it's like its own little world, its own little universe, all my thoughts. So it's like essentially I've given God a place that he can walk and experience that you've never created. Well, that's just a perspective and a viewpoint. I'm not saying he didn't. From that standpoint, he assisted. It's just he didn't create it. I created it. And since I wrapped it off, or in a sense, it's of all those things in that area are of my ideas, of my creation. And then I have this tree at the same time, where it's like essentially it's the heart of this planet. And then you have it where there's a sill around it, and then you have the heart of the tree of the planet. The planet has a heart of a tree. The heart of the planet is a tree, and the roots go and they still grow just like a regular tree, and it grows, and the roots go above the planet, on the outside of the planet. So there's a bottom, a below tree, and a top tree. And it's kind of interesting, because if you go ahead and you view it from the whole thing of oneness and simple, it's just that and of that of duality. So like everything has a pair. So like I like to refer to the above roots as where the leaves are, where the tree gets the leaves, the food of the lights, and then the bottom roots are where they get water and stuff like that. It's essentially like same thing, and it's just how you view it too. It's quite interesting to have potentially made the first tree heart of a planet. Now there's the whole thing of I'm a passer-througher. That's where I live. That's where I live. Here I'm just a passer-through of this time. And so I'm what is it, multi-universal being, or what it can be. So in essence, I'm in an ever perpetual state of recalling myself. Because if everything's already happened, it's that I'm potentially, or I am in an ever perpetual state of recalling myself. So then it brings me to talking about the question of, well, who is God and what is God? There's a perspective of, well, it's not necessarily who is God. It's that God and us came from the same place. God came from somewhere, and so did we. it was very interesting. Because like if you imagine, like, okay, if everything stopped creating something, and we stopped creating, everything stopped creating, we'd stop making, we'd stop that flow of going forward, which is kind of why there's energy, because everything's forwarding itself. Potentially we wouldn't know. At the same time, it's that exact thing of creating something that creates something that in it, which then create many things. And it's interesting because I created that. It's where I'm kind of going with this is that when you move, you create airflow. You create something. It's like the whole intention kind of thing. So when you do positivity, you create positivity. You spread it around. It's that exact thing of I created this planet, and now I created all these other possibilities to happen. Of where, like, the openness of being able to say, oh, I kind of more realize what it means to be a passer through over this time. Like, I used to say it, it's just now that there's more meaning behind it, there's more understanding behind it, because there's a point where, yeah, that's where I live. I live on this planet that has a heart, that has a tree. The heart of this planet is a tree, and inside this planet is all of my ideas and all of my creations, kind of a thing. From this standpoint of where I am right now, like if your energy, you never die, or you came from something else, from reincarnation, you represent an aspect from somewhere. It's just that I kind of go from the perspective that yes, that happened, and at the same time I'm my own individual aspect. I'm my own thing. I'm just another version of that aspect. It's just that this is to be equal and to all that kind of stuff of like that aspect. So it doesn't matter which one came first. It's that I am this. So potentially what I'm saying is that this aspect that I am is never going to stop being something. So this version of from that thing or idea or what it is going to keep going. And it's just really interesting to comprehend, or to like put it into a way of understanding it, where that you created this planet. Because if everything is happening now, that's actually something that's happened. It's so where this planet, I created myself into a planet. I'm a planet somewhere now, and it's interesting to be in this state of this perpetual state of recalling myself, because I am a planet. So I'm something somewhere for everything. There's so like that, and it's interesting to be that and to comprehend that. Now it's the challenge of living in two different worlds. That's the challenge.